Welcome to the LagFoundry, where we try to fix problems. And one of those problems being is the update that's going to come out with turrets, where there's going to be a few mechanic changes that's going to make it easier for raiders to brick up turrets on a flip-flop circuit. Now, I tried to alleviate that problem, and I'm going to go over how I did it. What you see here is one of your common flip-flop circuit setups. Okay? Every time it hits a set number, it switches over to the next module, and so on. To give this circuit some extra sensing capability, first we need a control line, which is this setup right here. Each of these switches is going to allow pass-through from either one of these branches. Each branch is set to a different power rating, 3, 6, and 9. And so that allows us to send different control signals down one line. So to switch it over to the first module, we need 3 power to do that, which is this branch right here. We switch that switch and it switches over to the first. To switch it over to the second module, we'll need to send 6 power, which is that right there. Now what that essentially does is the same thing that this splitter does to this first module, except it also resets this memory cell and sends a set signal back down to this memory cell. And the reason we need to do that is because the power out from this memory cell is leading into the power in on this memory cell and then that respective memory cell afterwards. To go to the third module, we'll need to send 9 power, which does every single thing that each of these splitters did, except it also resets this memory cell and sends a set signal down to this memory cell. Oh, also it's blocking the pass-through of the blocker from there, so that way it doesn't accidentally set this memory cell. Now, this is how we control the setup. Now, somebody on Discord did mention a worry that what happens if you detect multiple locations at the same time and activate all 3 switches at the same time? Well, nothing. Just the last switch that was activated will be what took over. So it's gonna switch over in the same order that it detects position in. So that's all that's going to happen. You see all that's active at the same time, went in the same order. Just like so. Yeah. So there's some foolproof in that circuit. One of the things he encountered was it was acting janky for him. And because I'm going to leave the rustrician link in the description for you, I need to tell you that seismic sensors aren't the same in rustrician. And what I mean by that is once you click to activate them, they will stay perma active until you click on them again. And what that makes happen is, since this makes it act as a wire if it's perma active, then we essentially just have a clock set up right now. And yeah, if 3 clocks are active at once, then it's going to make this switch over like crazy. So be wary of that in rustrician. Know that it's going to do that, so just click on it twice when you try to test it out in the website. But anyways, to the switchover part, the sensing part of the circuit, I have it set up to where it'll unpower the seismic sensor and then power it back up, allowing it to detect booms a lot faster, because if you just power it by itself, then it's going to take a second for it to shut down after it's been triggered. We want to detect booms fast if they're spamming it. So that's what this setup does. And then it also triggers a signal to increment counter on this counter right here. And if it reaches a certain value, I have it set to 3. If it reaches that value, it'll do the same thing that you usually see on flip-flop circuits, where the has target node of a turret activates and it freezes that module in place. This will also freeze the module in place based off of their position. And the reason that we're doing it like this is because, let's say if it senses 3 booms in that area, that's probably the likely position that the opponent is going to try to come from. Now, to allow the circuit to switch back over, if they decide to move positions, then it will allow for that. It'll send a clear signal to this counter and then an increment on the one that was activated, and allows it to start switching again. But yeah, that's one way that I came up with to try to stop raiders from bricking up your turrets. Essentially, the logic behind it is if you can keep the turrets on the end that they're trying to blow through on, then your turrets will never turn off for them to be able to brick it in the first place. And it's not a perfect system, right? But it does make it harder for them to do so. And that's the whole point of it. So, but yeah, if you like this, then check out the link in the description, and give me a like. Give me some suggestions if you got some ways to improve the circuit, man. We need to figure this problem out. So, y'all take care.